Congratulations on being
yes, sir.
Stuff.
Yes, sir.
I know, I heard this one already. Sorry.
What's up, Freeport? Councilman Moreira. It's a little hard with the GoPro, but I'm gonna go over the agenda real quick, and it might go through it pretty fast. I'm not sure. Anything can happen right now. So we're gonna have first up, we're gonna have a public hearing, and from there we're gonna go into another public hearing, and that public hearing is going to be regarding the new water sewer rate. I don't have much info right now. I had to go back through it, but I'm just gonna go through the agenda real quick. Then we are going to appoint a new TERS chairman. From there, we're gonna do a couple appointments. Then, item number 9, we're going to be appointing an interim city attorney and prosecutor. From there, we're gonna go on to a list of agenda items that Councilman Pena and myself put on the agenda. Performance of the city manager will be discussed, press release, HR advertisements, that's going to be discussed in agenda item number 11. The levy jog trail will be item number 12. Then we have residential water billing with the issues that we've had lately. Item number 14 is going to be the sewage and drainage plan for pump 5 and 6. 15 is street speed signage, additional street directional reflectors, and etc. Agenda item number 16 is going to be code enforcement and building inspection in regards to Mr. Patel and the property he has in 2006 Jones Road. Then we have the Volkswagen tax abatement and Starbucks grant. There's going to be discussion. We'll also have discussion on the Freeport entrance on Brassport Boulevard. We might take action. Then we have open meetings laws, quorums, possible action. Agenda item number 20. At this point, we're at agenda item number 20, and it's records request process, discuss and take possible action. Then the last item, the city trash service notices and American Waste contract modifications. From there we go on to work session. In work session we basically speak about the issues in our wards and throughout the city that we spot. So yeah, that's the agenda for today, and let me know if there's anything that I can do. It's pretty, GoPro's it's pretty new. I'm pretty new at using it, so just let me know what I can do. I'm here for you. I'm gonna face it back to the crowd. Hopefully it doesn't run out of battery this time around.
Hello, Mr. Councilman.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I called you, and you never called me back.
Oh, I didn't get your message. Sorry.
Really? I don't know what number I called. I have it at home,
Okay.
But I wanted to talk to you,
Yes, sir.
Does the city give you business cards with
Yes.
number? Okay. Because I'm going to ask for that in a minute, and I want a card from everybody.
Yes, sir.
If you have one now
Yes.
with the numbers on it? Okay.
Oh, I don't have one. I thought I had put them in my
Well, if you maybe write it down. I've got another question.
Yes, sir.
Are you happy with the appraisal district?
I can't really
Well,
comment.
no, this is privately though.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but I want to talk to you privately because they slammed me bad in Bridge Harbor where the encroachment is on my lot. They went up from 15,000 to 100,000 on that lot.
I've heard a lot of individuals doing that work.
But before we leave, hey guy, hi Ben, man, good to see you. Before we leave, let me have your number.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Let's see how this works, everybody. Freeport, let's see how this works.
You don't understand.
Freeport Council, a lot of individuals. Sir.
Oh, no, I have to go to this.
Yeah, just a minute.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the regular scheduled meeting of the Freeport City Council this Tuesday, July 5th, 2022 at 6 p.m. I hope you all enjoyed your 4th, and I will now declare that there is a quorum present and that all proper notices have been duly posted. With that, I would ask that Mr. Kelty lead us in the invocation and the pledges of allegiance.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, at this time of year, we just like to remember and give thanks for the freedoms that we enjoy, the sacrifices that were made so that that can be the case. Lord, we ask that you bless this meeting, that you bless all of those in attendance. Lord, we ask that your hand be on us and guide the decisions and discussion tonight, and that it all be in accordance with your will. Heavenly Father, we ask all of this in the name of your Son. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, in our agenda, in our regular session, we have a time for citizen comments. And at this time, Mr. Casal, would you please come? The mic is yours, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
First item I'd like to talk about, I'd like to know if, and someone did confirm it, I'd like to have a business card from all the council people and the mayor with a phone number. So if you could send people, and policy that you have, I'd like to, so and call you, you get a response. Anyway, the other issue is time as speaking. 4 minutes is not enough for a guy to come up, a citizen to come up for the city council. We extend at least 5 minutes per subject. I've got many subjects that I didn't discuss, and I don't want to take 6 minutes here to discuss it. So if we could, and this is not law, this is policy. I know it was probably said years ago, but 40 years ago, I don't even think we had a limit at all. But to be fair to the people out here, we need to extend that to 5 minutes from now at least, but it's 5 minutes per subject. And the other deal is about the trash situation. 2 months ago, outside of a Bridge Harbor home, I put a pile of trash about that high, not even 2 feet high. It's still there. And I did report it to the trash service people. They sent a truck out there to examine it, okay, the situation. But I know that the city had a meeting with them not long ago. I want to know what the results are, because these people are not fulfilling the job like the previous people did at all. It's a horrible job. Even Marvin Lang's got some piles out there, still there. So I don't know what the final conclusion was between the city manager and the trash pickup people, but we need to find out what's going on. Okay? The other deal is I've got some pictures that I told the Freeport Facts that I would show you. I was hopefully we could put it on the screen, but it's got to be a jump drive. But real quick, if I have a minute left, I want to show you what the illegals are doing to the ranches in West Texas, because those illegals are winding up in Freeport, Texas. But real quick.
Let's meet Mr. Casal. Let's not identify any particular race or any particular gender or,
No.
so let's be careful of that. In fact, why don't you just submit those pictures and they'll pass them out later.
No
All right?
problem, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, real quick, if y'all could look.
Hold on, sir. Go ahead and submit them to the city secretary and we'll look at them later. Thank you. Time's up. Julian, you're next.
So,
You have this one. I'm good.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Julian Arevalo. I live in 711 West 10th Street, Freeport. I just go and you approve an investigation of third parties and relation about two issues from two city councils. Several weeks from months passed. I guess the citizens it's time to know what was the result or why know the results. I guess we've been talking about transparency for a few months, and I guess it's time to be clear with all the citizens who wants to know exactly what happened with two of those investigations. It was a third party. They don't want to use the lawyer who paid the city. You pay an extra money for a third party, and I guess we had to know what's going on. Thank you.
You, Mr. Roberson.
Good evening, council.
Good evening, sir.
Everybody having happy 4th of July, Independence Day. Turned out like everything else in this country, they up in a mass shooting. Can't do nothing about gun control or nothing else. But anyway, I was looking at the statistics in Freeport because when I talked to y'all about representation, it's 54% Caucasian, 54.88%. Black or designated African American, 17.57%. Other races, 12.31%. Two other races that's together, that's 11.0%. Native American, 3.29%. Asian American, 0.59%. Hawaiian Native and Island Pacificers, 0.33%. Now, y'all guys supposed to be honest with everybody in the city because we elect y'all guys. All on social media showing exactly how you guys operate this city. And it's not good. It's not good. Everybody's seeing what's going on. You're seeing the little huddles and cliques together, attacking the two minorities. Let's get it out in the open. This was going on right here, right now, because it's showing on social media. And all of this stuff is not good for us as a city that's trying to thrive. My second is a little my house. I don't know you guys. Come to my house that streets are quite a big amount of water bill here. So what are you gonna do about it? told me it was $800,000 that the port on the city of Freeport. First it was 10 million. But it needs to be substantiated because we need to know. Texas Bank, $85,000. How many more around here owe money? The city is dying and it needs help, but the corporation is not paying their bills and we all have to suffer for it. It shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't have to bundle trash because we pay y'all guys to give us the trash service to pick up the trash. It's not right what you guys are doing and it's playing out in the public. My thing is that I really believe that the Justice Department need to come and investigate the city because it's too much, how you say, corruption going on because you can see it playing out. Y'all need to straighten this up because it don't look good.
Sir. Ms. Oldham? I'm sorry, Melanie? I didn't get my.
Hello, good evening. Melanie Olden, 922 West 5th Street. I have attended a lot of city council meetings for years, and my routine normally on Fridays, I look at what the city council agenda is. It's been posted. And I looked and I saw that the last 11 items were put on by Mr. Pena and Mr. Uriah, which is perfectly fine. They have the right as councilman to put it there. So today, I'm always go back when I have time, and at the very end is where most people put supporting documents on each and every item to give not only their fellow council people, but the public a little idea on what the heck they're going to bring up, especially if it's been brought up 3 or 4 times already. But there is, on those last 11 items, there's not one supporting document. And if we want to be open and transparent and not surprise the other council people or the public, you all should put something to give us an idea of what you're talking about. And when I was on the EDC, Shonda, David, we sat in recently, a couple weeks, 3 weeks back, on a workshop given by Texas EDC, and it was all about getting information requests. And it's eye-opening the things that Sean and I found. But last thing on a personal note, last city council meeting, after council meeting, I got online and somebody I thought was a good friend that texted me. There was a video that called me by name and said, you know, just like those 3 white council people, Melanie, you're basically a racist and prejudiced, and nobody's ever called me that before, because I am not. And he basically said, quit picking on Mr. Pena, and that, you know, I have the right to express my opinion. I may not always agree with Mr. Pena or even Mr. Uriah, who I respect greatly, but I have that right, and that was very offensive that it was put out there in public. And to assume that I'm picking on Pena just because it's Hispanic, that has no factor at all. I asked all of y'all hard questions. It's not just Mr. Pena, but for his friend to put that on video that a lot of people saw until it was finally removed, that was very hurtful.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Morales? Excuse me. Nicole?
Nicole Mireles, live on 2002 North Avenue G, and I'm glad that Melanie made those comments about very hurtful and all this stuff, because, you know, from the day that Mr. Pena kicked me off of the EDC, I have been asking for what was the reason, give me the documentation, give me proof. He's yet to come up with anything. And it makes me sad that all y'all that voted me off, it's okay. Y'all never even asked any of the members, the EDC members, because some of the EDC members tell me, you know, they didn't even ask us. They didn't ask us, you know, what was going on. Y'all took the word of one man that's also always and causing all this chaos here, you know, and it's embarrassing. Yes, it is. Because you want to talk about prejudice, they're the ones that are prejudiced, and as far as I'm concerned. You know, they try to make y'all look stupid or whatever, you know. Like I always say, I work out at the the Dow building over there, and it's a joke. Every time I go to the coffee bar or whatever, they're laughing at, Freeport. Oh, what are they up to today? And who's that Pena guy? And da-da-da. And who's that one? Oh, didn't you support that Moraida? Yeah, I was very proud when I was supporting him. But if he thinks for 1 minute he's going to be mayor here with the integrity he has, I got news for him. Because I can still walk and I can still knock on doors. And I have a big mouth. Thank you.
Deanna Kyle, please.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council, Mr. Kelsey. Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to make a public comment this evening. I first came to Freeport in 1996, employed by the representatives. My enforcement over the district office here in Freeport at 200 West 2nd. Prior to that, I never had set foot in Freeport. Congressman encouraged all the congressional staff to familiarize ourselves with each and every city in the 14th congressional district. I started familiarizing myself with the city of Freeport. The journey began with learning the history, businesses, the families, the issues, and the challenges. Nat Hickey and I became fast friends. He was so good to me, introducing me to the families through historical records and actual introductions. Some of the families I met had been in Freeport for decades. There were so many good families that I met. One of those families that I got to know early on was the Moreno family. Their rich history began in the 1920s. The Moreno family continues to invest into the city of Freeport today. I developed a fondness for the city of Freeport and the diverse population. The people were so very kind to me, and I've worked on many projects with different city managers in the past. In 2005, the 14th Congressional District changed, and my congressman made the decision to move to Lake Jackson to the First National Bank building. However, my interest and my heart continues to be in Freeport to this day. I will always think of Freeport as a place of opportunity with so many natural resources, so many good, hardworking people with so much grit. I am very aware that the city of Freeport has had colossal obstacles, challenges, and other battles. However, Freeport has also had great successes. Elected officials, I look up to each and every one of you because you are leaders who are willing to serve your community altruistically and tirelessly. Kudos to you for being visionaries. I come before you today to respectfully and humbly ask each one of you to allow every consideration allowed by law to Lucy and Aaron Ware. As you are aware, they are trying to acquire a property that is currently owned by the city of Freeport. I have known the Moreno family for a long time. They are hardworking residents of Freeport. These past few years, I had the opportunity to learn and witness Lucy Ware's caliber of work ethic, her dedication, and her deep love for family, and especially for the city of Freeport. And to give plan for the property. The property is to construct their second home. Second home might not be the largest or the most luxurious house in Freeport. However, based on what I know of Lucy Ware, I know that it will be an excellent, well-constructed, quality house that will enhance the beautiful old river that we all love and enjoy.
Mrs. Kyle, I apologize that your 4 minutes is up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Ware.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is about our eighth time here, 10th time. I don't know. We coming over and over trying to get this property. The only thing we're doing, we agree. Y'all gave us a price for the property and the levy. The levy, the property price is a good price. Well, not a good price, but that's an acceptable price. But $23,000 for a levy that nobody else can use in Freeport, which nobody else has bought a levy for $23,000, I think is ridiculous. I just don't think that's a fair price. That's all we ever came. When we first came, we asked for a fair deal. That's all we ever wanted was a fair deal. Can you show me one levy property you have that went for $23,000, which is not accessible to anybody else except the land is connected to us? Anybody else? I mean, show me one person that paid over $23,000 for a levy. Just one person. Is it because I'm black? Is that the thing? I mean, I don't know. Because I'm not a good old boy? I mean, what is the reason why we haven't received this property at a fair price? That's all we ever wanted was a fair price. And $23,000 is not a fair price. Just name one levy that y'all sold for $23,000. Just one. That's all we want is a fair price.
And we'd also like to, if y'all do it in open session instead of the executive session, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you.
With that, we will now go into the consent agenda, which composes of comprised 3 items on your on the agenda. Councilman, you've had the opportunity to review this. Consideration possible action on approval of City Council meeting minutes from June 13th, June 17th, and June 20th, 2022. Consideration possible action approving road closures for Kid Fest on Saturday, August 6th, 2022. And consideration of possible action to ratify City Manager interim appointment Danny Gilchrist as interim police chief. Stating that, I will await a motion or a comment.
Mayor, I'll make that motion.
A second.
I have a motion from Councilman Gain to, I'm assuming, approve.
Approve.
And I have a second from Councilman Brimage. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Council business regular session is now 6:23. I'm going to open a public hearing. Betty, please note this for the record. Public hearing for consideration, excuse me, possible action on approving request for replat of ILA Local 31 Block 1 Unrestricted Reserve A subdivision of 0.89 square lot 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, Block 34, in the town of Freeport, Missouri County, Texas. According to the map of plat thereof recorded in Volume 2, page 95 of the map records of Missouri County, Texas, owner International Longshoremen's Association, number 30, P.O. Box 2727, Freeport, Texas 77542-2727. Mrs. Roman.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This particular property went before Planning and Zoning last week. It is a consolidation of 12 separate lots into one lot. It's on the edge of our downtown zone. And this is an existing property for the ILA. It's a union meeting house. And they're wanting to expand it. To be able to do that, they will have to rezone and replat. And this was voted to approve by the Planning and Zoning Commission last week.
So it's gone through the Planning Commission, it's been approved, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Council, questions? Or I won't entertain a motion now. Questions from council or from the public? Council first. Hearing none, does anybody in the audience have any questions or comments in regards to this public hearing, this particular piece of property? Yes, sir, Mr. Rollerson.
On the replat of that, that's just gonna be,
Manny, can you come up to the mic, please, so make sure this is on the record? Thank you, sir.
on the replat of local 30, that's gonna be, just that area to be rezoned?
This is actually a replat, not a rezoning request.
Yeah, okay.
This is a replat and a rezoning request.
They just have a bunch of little lots.
consolidating those 12 lots into one that will allow them to do the expansion of their building.
Any further questions from the audience? Any further questions from council? If not, I will then close this public hearing at 6:26 p.m. and will entertain a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion from Councilman Brimage to approve. Is there a second? I have a second from Councilman Pena. Is there any further discussion needed? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 5 is it is now 6:27. I will open this up into another public hearing for a public hearing for consideration of possible action approving ordinance number 2022-2669, approving the new water rate. Okay.
This rate increase is for an increase in rates. BWA are raising their rates by 12.5%. This will increase a $309,000 increase to the city.
That's an increase in that we will bear in this year.
And they're going to be in October 1. In order to obtain the extra funds that are needed, the utility fund cannot sustain those funds on its own. So we are proposing a 9% rate increase on water rates only. This would be about a 4.5% increase overall. I did contact all of the other cities that BWA provides water service to. They are all proposing a rate increase, 18%, 12%, 11.5%. 2 cities are still working on the rate increase, but they're saying at a minimum to pass through the increase from BWA to them. Their plan is to raise the rates by at least that rate at a minimum.
Now, this is a mandate, basically from the BW, Freeport Water Authority. Their board voted for this 12% increase. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And we have representatives, but certainly they have the tools to the pumps, I guess.
Yes, sir. They are the ones that have run the system to pump the surface water, which, though some of you may not know, we are mandated by the state of Texas to use surface water. It's not a choice of the city. It is a mandate by the state of Texas. That's why we do use the surface water.
And can the city make the additional monies with the 9% increase?
Yes, sir.
And did I hear you say other cities have, at this point, at least 3 other cities have gone higher?
The 11.5 is what they're...
Whose phone? Mr. Casal? Or is it?
No, it's Manny.
Manny, listen, please silence. Thank you, sir.
Richwood is the only one that has approved their rate increase, and they did an 18% increase on the water side. Angleton is going to propose a 12% increase. Lake Jackson is going to propose 11.5%. Clute and Oyster Creek are the ones who are still looking at their overall rates to determine whether they're going to increase it.
How do we compare to those other cities rate-wise before this increase?
On residential side, we're still in the middle.
Actually, we're actually putting the lower on
Lower end on the residential side,
on
sorry.
residential. On commercial, we're actually one of the highest rates.
Have a question, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Well, considering just recent information in terms of the building problems that we're having, I'm just curious what the correlation might be to these outstanding bills, and for that matter, the consideration of this rate increase. And I'd like to, though we're already having this public hearing, I want to make sure that we get as much information to the public so that this public hearing can be that much more informed and help the council to understand what outstanding bills are not being paid that might be affecting this rate increase. I want to make sure that, like Clute and Oyster Creek, that we get our house in order first before we prematurely jump to a rate increase. It's made pipes, so to speak, or leaky accounts that haven't been paid before we take any.
How do you determine the usage?
Usage based on the consumption that is billed, not on what we have collected. It's based on the consumption that was billed, and that's how the water rates are.
Is there any correlation to what Councilman Pena is saying and consumption?
No, sir.
Do we have outstanding accounts currently for consumption on the commercial side? I think we have a report.
I cannot disclose that information under House Bill 70.
Am I allowed to disclose that information?
No, sir. You're not.
Because I'm sure the public would be very interested in that information. Can they make a public request on that information?
No, sir. Under House Bill.
Mayor or city attorney, is that right?
Get that on the court.
A request can always be made. If it is information that is protected, it shouldn't be disclosed, then we send that to the AG's office and they give us permission to accept that information and not provide it.
I'll tell you what, my 7th grade civics class is kicking in here, taxation without representation. And I want to make sure that we're representing the public's billing and any outstanding invoices that we may not be able to disclose, but that we know internally is good and kosher and viable. It's working. We're what we do. This has some outstanding information that we still need to look into. I'm in possession of some of that information. I will not be releasing it, but amongst the council, I think it's something worthwhile discussing. And I don't know if we have to do that in executive session or what, but I certainly think it's something to look at closely, because if there is in fact any kind of correlation, we need to know that. We can fix it. Let's just fix it. Let's give ourselves a fair chance to fix it. That's what I say. Thank you. That's all.
So in regard to Councilman Pena's concerns, there are some issues in Ms. Ezell has a report to make to council regarding the issue that was addressed to the public and to the council. It is not anywhere near correlating to the amount of money that we are required to receive. That issue is going to be resolved. They've already gone through that audit and identified those accounts, and we're making that correction. I think that totaled about $11,000, affecting about 530 accounts, residential and commercial accounts. And it is not really germane to the question about whether or not rates have to be raised in order to generate the additional $309,000. I'm sorry, $309,000 in additional costs that we will incur as a result of the VW rate increase.
A second question, if I may. The mandate doesn't kick in until October, is that right, Mrs. Zimmer?
That is correct. But we have, in order for the bills to reflect the October 1 start date, the rate has to be in effect September 1, because it's in September 1, but it does not take effect until the October bill. So it's a month lag.
And this item is actually before council tonight, because Councilman Pena had asked for this ordinance to be, their ordinance is written for
It's September
1 effective date, so whether or not it's adopted tonight or next meeting or the following meeting is not an issue. We can, if council wants to.
This ordinance, the bill change, while you might say to identify individual problems, I recommend we make every use of every opportunity that we have to do so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, any comments?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Would you please come to the mic?
Yes, sir.
And please fill out a form.
Yes, sir.
Hello, gentlemen, City Council. Pam Nancy, 313 South Front Street. And understand that any business or company or whatever you want to call it, we all have, there's debits and credits to everything, and there's always some accounting issues. But I think because we are working on transparency, that maybe these issues that Pina was just talking about kind of makes me go like, really? What is that? And I don't understand, or did I misunderstand? Is it not for the public knowledge to know our debts? Is all I'm asking. So I will be one of those people that's going to put in one of those forms to get the information to see, because, you know, hell, oh, excuse me, I just think that,
I said it earlier today at the office, so it's okay.
oh, okay, well, you know what I mean, and, yeah, because I like to see where our debts are. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
In regard to the, the non-disclosure of private accounts, it's not a matter of a desire not to be transparent, but there is privacy issues in regard to releasing private names and addresses. It is something that's protected. It prevents people from getting a list of utility user accounts and using that as a mass mailer or some other marketing effort. That basically your information is protected, and I applaud Mrs. Zell for making sure that that is protected. But from the standpoint of being able to provide information regarding accounts that are past due, we can provide information, certain information. We just can't provide names and addresses for that information. And she has, like I say, she has a report tonight in regard to total dollar amount, total number of properties that are impacted.
Thanks, sir. Council, audience, anybody else want to say anything?
You got two of them, Mr. Mayor.
I do? There you go. Yes, sir. Manny? And y'all both filled out forms, so that's good.
Yes,
Thank you.
On the water thing, because she just said about it's against HEPA. I understand what you talk about, the HEPA rules. That was told to me by one of your firefighters. Running around here with sirens on and didn't do nothing. And I didn't get that open records request either. There's no building in the city. It's all public record. All this money you on here, come on. You might give me one extension. My water bill ain't gonna get over $100. But for having an excess of thousands of dollars on not paying the water bill, it says about the leadership. You're supposed to collect that money. So some do have to change about that. We do need transparency for everybody complaining about what's going on in this council. Every last one of y'all supposed to, our concern is supposed to be your concern. We put you here for a reason. To be transparent and direct to the point. Because our children are important. So a man looking for transparency, we need more like that.
Thank you, Joel. Or Julie.
Again, I have a question by myself a few months ago. What the utilities department do with the money whenever they have a profit? And I guess most of the months they have a profit. Either one, water, sewer, or trash, they have a profit for sure. I don't think so you charge $100 for the citizens to pay $100 and be even. You have to have a profit, and what you do with the profit? Why you don't make an account, and whenever you start losing money on somebody raises the rate, just grab the money, you make a profit a few months ago and pay some of those months, or years, something to help the citizens, because like you say, we have to know what the profit going, If it's for the water, just keep an account And whenever it's raises or the price going out, just put the money there. Don't charge to the citizens until the money is going. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hold on one second, ladies first.
You got it.
No, thank you though. You're next.
I would point out there are no accounts that owe thousands of dollars in back utility bills.
Melanie Oldham. Again, I used to attend Freeport Water Authority meetings, and they talked about the contracts, and as you all probably know, BWA has contracts with 7 cities, plus I think now Rosenberg, and when they increase rates, all the cities are looking at, the best way to deal with this. And as far as the water bills, the city's getting that straightened out. I don't know all the details. I don't think there was anything sinister that the water department decided to charge people. And I think there's no connection at all between the two. I mean, it puts somebody trying to put a bad reflection on the city water department and whoever. But I don't think there's any correlation at all. BWA is up the rates, all 7 cities, their leadership are trying to figure out how to do that. But for a long time, the water was in the red. It was always negative. And it takes a while, years and years, to get us out of the red into the black. But I don't think, again, there's anything sinister about what's going on.
Yes, sir. And I don't want to be a hard case, but will you fill the form out when you're done, please, sir?
I filled one out for agenda 10.
You did?
Yes. Kyle Hammonds,
You did, Kyle, I'm
1443.
sorry. Thank you.
Got a question. Does the city get charged for every gallon of water that is either gone through a household or that is leaked on the ground?
Good question.
The city pays a flat dollar amount for all of what, under a contract with BWA.
So it doesn't matter if it goes through the faucet through the sink or if it's leaked out on the street?
Correct.
Right. Okay, well, down the block from my house, there was a water leak for 2 months, right? I don't know why the owners of the house didn't report it, right? But we do have a city worker that walks the blocks with his little electric wand and checks meters, reads the meters, correct? Is there any reason why he wouldn't report that? It was plainly obvious that the water was running over the sidewalk, filling up the street by the curb. I ended up calling. 3 days later, it got repaired, which was probably the 3rd, I think, of July, it got repaired. But I was just wondering why that city employee didn't make a note of that and tell his supervisor that, hey, we're losing thousands of gallons of water, and it leaked for 2 months. So, I was just curious. I don't understand that.
I think that will be addressed at the next administrative supervisor meeting.
Because that's just money going down the drain, so to speak.
But I'll tell you this too, a number of years ago, before I was on council, Mr. Hammons, I was driving down to East End and I saw a fire monitor. And I said, oh, there sure are some nice flowers around that day, kind of thing. Sure enough, I go over there and get out, there's leaking water. So
Yeah, that's why the flowers grow.
And so I tell somebody at our water company, not the city employees, somebody at the water company, and let's get this before I was on council. And they said, oh, don't worry about it, we never use our total amount that we get required from BWA. And I said, but you got water over there that's running out.
That's the point,
It
right?
eventually got fixed, maybe 2 months later.
Right.
But I understand your position, and I'm sure that will be addressed.
I don't know why the homeowner didn't do it, but then again, I don't understand why the city employee didn't make a note of it also.
Well, we all have personal responsibility, but we also have to have checks and balances with our city folks that walk.
Sure. Well, I didn't see anybody else doing it, so I picked up the phone, right?
Good job, Mr. Hammond.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you come back. Thanks, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir, Mr. Wilson.
can I get Mr. Kelton on the record when he said there's nothing over $11,000 in bills owed on the record?
He's already said it. Yes, sir, Mr. Rayner.
Good evening. My name is Sam Raymond. I reside 2002 North 70G. I just had a problem with my water, and it was on the city side. That valve had been broken and leaking for years. I mean, I'm not talking about months or days. This was leaking for years. Then plumber that took a look at the valve said, you know what, that's why all this water is saturated, it's all wet. on account. So I went ahead and told y'all about the valve, and they keep putting me on hold, and I finally went over and I said, hey, look, I lit this fix yesterday. So like a couple of days later, they went over there and done it. And one of the workers was telling me, Mr. Reyna, he said, you know what, so you were right, that's the bad valve. It's been leaking for years. But they got it fixed. Thanks to y'all and thanks to the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Good discussion. Council, anything else?
One quick question, Mayor. You know, we had that LNG explosion a couple of weeks ago, and all the first responders in the nearby cities had come out and helped to pitch and put that fire out. And I noticed, though, that they had tapped into a lot of those fire hydrants of the city of Freeport because they had run out of water.
I don't know the answer to that, but okay, yes, please, Mr. Chief.
It's being handled. Along with the truck that pulled out.
Thank you, Chief. Anything else, Council? Seems to me the will to set this off a little bit. We have a little bit of time. Therefore, I will close the public hearing at 6:47 p.m. For our minutes, and we will re-agenda this in the near future for another public hearing for consideration and possible action. Item number 6. Thank you, Mrs. Ezell. Item number 6, consideration and possible action approving the annual appointment of a TERS chairman.
Yes, so this is actually the appointment of the TERS chairman to fill out the remaining term of Mr. Pena, who was on the EDC board and is no longer. So that EDC board is, the council has set it up so that the EDC board represents the city as the TERS board as well. The EDC met last week and recommended Chandra Marshall to fill out the remainder of that term.
Understanding their recommendation, I make that move that move to appoint Chandra Marshall as the TERS chairman for the remainder of the term.
Second that for Ms. Shonda Marshall.
I have a second from Councilman Pena. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 7, consideration and possible action approving resolution number 2022-2754, appointing person to the Charter Review Board. Mr. Kelly, we do have one opening. I have reviewed the applications, and I would nominate Melanie Oldham to fill that spot on the Charter Review Board.
Second.
I have a second from Councilman Brimage. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Congratulations, Mrs. Oldham. Consideration and possible action approving resolution number 2022-2750, appointing person to the Senior Citizens Committee. I'm proud to nominate and move to nominate Dolores Knox to fill a position on the Senior Citizens Committee, and I'm looking for a second.
Second.
I have a second from Councilman Kane.
I have one question from Ms. Wells. Was there just one application? Okay.
Any discussion needed? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. That takes care of that. Consideration, and item number 9, consideration, congratulations to Mrs. Knox.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
You may.
Any chance we might be able to move up number 10 up before number 9, simply there's some germane material in there?
No, sir.
And then in exchange, I will forego 11, 13, 17, 18, and 19.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we table 9 through 21. I'd like to get information on these agenda items before a meeting so I can review them, not go through there blind. There's absolutely no information on these topics or these agenda items in our packet.
All right, well, let me back up. Did I heard from Councilman Pena, heard from Councilman Brennan. On item number 9, I do think there is information in the packet. Items number 10 through 21, there is, I do not believe there's information in the packet.
My motion was 10 through 21. If
10
I
through
said none, I'm sorry.
We had, what were you suggesting, Councilman Pena?
The number 10 you moved up before number 9.
I have no problem with them on the agenda. I'd just like to have information on what we're discussing before we do, just like we do every other agenda item.
Well, let's do this. Let's continue with the agenda till we get to those items, and then certainly we can have discussion. Item number 9, consideration and possible action to appoint interim city attorney and prosecutor, Mr. Kelty.
Yes, so with Mr. Duncan's last day being the 15th, it's important that we have a city attorney in place. I have talked to Olson & Olson and gotten a proposal from them to provide interim services to the city, which would include, for the municipal court, which has court dates coming up very soon, and would ask council to consider making and proposal back and to support and to schedule interviews with potential candidates at the next meeting.
Mayor, the process for both the interim legal representation of the city, as well as the interview process and the candidate selection process, is that the role of city council to be involved in that process? And if so, I want to make sure that that is in fact the case. Or are we unofficially delegating that responsibility to the city manager?
Officially, the city manager on our behalf interviews and seeks out different attorneys and or firms, brings the information back to us, and we make the selection.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. So we will be afforded the opportunity to look at all the resumes and candidates.
Absolutely.
And then we'll select the top 5 or so.
Yes,
okay.
sure.
Thank you. And will we be part of that interview process then, from that point?
Generally speaking, the city manager reaches out on their own. That is the process we have done in the past. Certainly, if there's input that is requested, I think that's okay. But we do need to operate rather rapidly, but we also have to be prudent.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
So, folks, Councilman, I've had item number 9. We've used Olson in the past through that unfortunate saga of the marina. I've dealt with them a number of times while I was on EDC. Their prices actually look like they've gone down a little bit what they were charging before. And also, I think we were lucky that since we were being sued, I think TML actually reimbursed or paid some of those costs. But their highest billed person is $250 an hour, and their lowest, I'm assuming, attorney is at $180 an hour. But this is just a short period of time. Is that my understanding, Mr. Kelty? We're just talking 60 days?
Yes, so this proposal is for 60 days, but I would not anticipate, I would probably expect that I would have a proposal back to council following the interviews. My plan is to have review of proposals at the next regular council, at the first meeting in August, interviews at the second meeting in August, and then a contract award following that.
What is the current rate of Duncan Law Firm?
It's a flat rate. Chris, I can't recall, $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month plus. What is it hourly after that? $180. I can't recall.
Right. So it's a reduced rate for the first 40 hours. Anything over 40 hours is $180 per hour.
Are we considering a cap during this interim period in terms of what we would be budgeting? Do we need a budget amendment? How would that work, Mayor?
Well, Tim could answer that, but I would not assume that it would need a budget amendment because we have a budget amount already in there for existing city attorney, as well as if we needed outside counsel and so forth. So I would think we could get through 60 days without a budget amendment. But
That's
I hope
correct.
I hope to everything that we hold dear that we would not go outside of our
I
budget.
would hope that we don't go above whatever the average is of Mr. Duncan.
Depends on how many folks call the city attorney and ask him questions.
I always call
Take no
you
bills.
first.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen, excuse me. Are there any questions?
Were the law firms considered, Mr. Cote?
No, sir.
Only because of the fact that we were in kind of a time crunch, and the fact is we are familiar with Olson and Olson, and they provide these services to other cities as well.
I have a question.
No question.
Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
I'm kind of confused here a little bit because we're in a crunch to get another attorney, but at the same time, y'all more or less knew what you were going to do with Mr. Duncan. So I'm kind of confused on, we got Mr. Duncan out so fast, but now we're crunched to get somebody, and I think that you guys knew that it was gonna happen, that y'all were gonna let Duncan go. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but, you know, it's never even been out in the open. A lot of things are still, behind closed doors, but, I hate to see anybody lose their position. But I'm just kind of confused because when we kick somebody out, then boom, you know, we're in a crunch to get somebody all of a sudden. It seems like maybe we would have thought about this a little bit prior, you know, just how I would have done business. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor, is there any possibility that we might be able to extend Mr. Duncan?
Anybody else? Over here. Yes, ma'am.
It's kind of interesting that Councilman Peña keeps wanting to keep Duncan here when it was very obvious that y'all lost trust in our attorney. The other thing is, it's very obvious that they're friends, they're buddies, and whatever they are. So we need to be careful with that.
Let's not make
Thank you.
personal. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, I want to know, or note for the record that there hasn't been any public announcement as to what the reasons for termination for Mr. Duncan. And so when we have citizens making comments that...
Mr. Peña?
Yes, sir.
That is not on the agenda.
Well,
To be discussed, you are aware of what we excuse me, sir, you are aware of what was discussed in executive session.
You don't need to raise your voice.
You're aware of what was discussed in executive session. You understand the constraints of executive session, and I hope the law, because we've been, certainly talked to too many damn lawyers lately, and Mr. Peña, stop grandstanding for the public. When you're just trying to use what you can and what we cannot discuss, and that, you know, Jeff, that's not on the agenda, so now I will call a question. Thank you, sir. Item number 9. Is there
I make a motion, we approve.
Wait a second now, hold on.
Let's play.
I'm not gonna play Mr. Peña because I don't consider this a game. You know, I don't think it's a game, sir. I think that you like to grandstand and post things on.
You're playing with the public's interest, sir.
You know, Mr. Peña, why don't you come down here and live 55 years in the city of Freeport? Then you can. How dare you, sir? How dare you? I sit up here and get called a racist. I don't see you stand up and defend me.
Sir,
Do you consider me a racist, sir? Do you consider me a racist?
Gentlemen, aside.
Very good. I will call the question.
I make a motion.
All those in favor? I think, all right, we have a motion from Councilman King.
Second.
Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you, sir. Thank Thank you, sir. Mr. Pena voted nay. Now, item number 10, city manager performance review, open session. Mr. Brennan.
I would like to make a motion that we table 10 through 21 due to lack of information in our packets, and re-agenda those with information, please.
I would like to take them up individually, please, sir.
I'll second number 10.
So we have a motion to table item number 10, city manager performance review, open session scheduled by Councilman Pena and Council Mariah. Is that correct?
Yes.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That if this is tabled here tonight, in the interest of time, I just want to let the public know that all of these items will be published on social media this evening. They are already uploaded, but I will make sure that they go to everybody. Why? Because I don't want this to be scuttled in executive session. And I get all the calls, Mayor, I'm not grandstanding. I get all the calls, I get all the messages, get all the Facebook posts asking for this transparency. So I'm going to deliver on that. It's not grandstanding. I have no ambitions, I just want to help clean up the city. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, you understand, sir, that we
I
do
know the law, and I've consulted attorneys, and I understand TML, and if I have to call the AG to get clarification, I will. But I guarantee you, what we have in this discussion here for tonight is all already in the public domain. So I'm not going to circumvent that process.
Councilman Pena, you not only do you grandstand, you're omniscient, because you know what I was thinking. That was not what I was going to say about the law. I was going to say we have a process in place, which I've discussed with you on and off outside of City Council, in regards to how we review the process of the city manager. We do it in August, we submit the forms, we put down critiques or things that we think they're doing well. We have a number system, we calculate it, and we review those documentation with them.
And that's just compelled.
I'm giving you the courtesy, please let me finish. If we get a result, then it's made public. There you have it, sir. We're not reinventing the wheel.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
let me just say this though, in terms of last year.
Well, I'll say this, I am calling the question on the motion to vote.
Well, it will be transparent to the public.
I'm sure it will, sir, and I just remind you of your duties as a city councilman to the city and to your executive session.
Let's vote, gentlemen, let's vote, let's vote.
Can I say something?
No.
Why not?
Go ahead, Julian.
Wow, I have a question for all of you. Do you like whenever you the score? It's like over here. The score always is 1, 2, and 3, and 2 1. Always gonna be the score. We have to show the players. Always show the score. It is 1, 2, and 3, and 2. I like to know the score before I go into the game.
I'll give points because that's a good analogy. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on a second. But Betty, would you reflect? Can you tell the audience and Mr. Julian especially, have we had some 4-1 votes tonight? Have we had some 5-0 votes tonight? So it's not all the time 3-2. So maybe we need to look at what the motions that are coming from.
Most of the time, it's 3-2. Most of the time, 99%.
But let's get back to this, Councilman Kane.
I also want to reiterate the motion to table this is not because we don't feel like this stuff is important. The motion to table it is due to the fact there is no supporting documentation. It is hard for us to come up here and have an educated conversation, make an educated decision without having the documentation needed. On every other agenda item, we have supporting documentation. So, as the motion was made, it has nothing to do with the fact that he is Hispanic. Is that right?
Yeah, that's just that.
We had explanation today, but most of the time, when it's 3 or 2, we don't have any explanation.
Hold on. The reason for tabling it is the fact that we do not have documentation.
You're right, Dave.
Councilman Kane, I'd just like to respectfully reply to say that
Go ahead, sir.
there have been many agendas over the last 2 years where supporting documentation was not provided. And I just find it curious that tonight, that is the law of the land.
Well, the law of the land.
Being pressed so hard and fast when we have to let the process breathe. We have to let the process be afforded the voice of the public when the time comes and the time and occasion. We talk about a 100-year process budget. Emergencies arise. Issues of high importance that are detrimental to the city arise and act on those in a timely manner. And I hope that we do that. Thank you.
You know, there's people that, and I'm talking to Never Neverland right now, that actually sit and watch our council meetings and enjoy a cold beverage and pizza and revel at our inadequacies. And for anything, ultimately, as Harry Truman says, the buck stops here, and I'm the mayor, so anything that is inadequate, I will accept responsibility for. But I will vote my conscience. And I'm also, Mr. Pena, a member of the public. And I have a right to speak my mind.
Every day.
And represent the folks that I want to represent. So, well, let's get back to some semblance of normalcy. I am, all those in favor of tabling item agenda 10, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. And it's aye because we have a process in place. And there's been no emergency brought to my attention. Those against? Nay.
Is this still for discussion?
No, it's not, sir. We're going to vote.
Absolutely not.
So it is 3-2 to table item number 10. Item number 11, press release / HR advertisements for A, Duncan, B, Garibay, C, new police search, D, new city attorney search. Discussion and possible action, Councilman Pena, Councilman Mariah.
Yes, I'll go ahead and table it for the next meeting so that you guys can have ample time and information. But hopefully that between now and then, the city might take it upon itself to provide the council a press release that we might be able to consider to release so that the public is not flying blind.
Or that we should instruct, well, you already made the table, but we should have instructed Kelty to have that prepared.
Mr. Kelty, I don't know how many times I've got to ask you, sir. Mr. Kelty.
Mr. Kelty.
Thank you.
We could instruct Mr. Kelty to bring that information in the next city council meeting.
Well, you know, it's funny too, Councilman, because you called me out on that as well, that neither the mayor or the city manager made any public comments. Well, guess what? The next morning in the facts, there were public comments. And you understand, sir, truly, you must understand, sir, that we work under the confines of executive session and what the law says. So for you to call us out, I find rather interesting when the next day there was a statement in the paper that was made. So,
Mr. Mayor, I'll respond to that.
We don't need further response. You table it, and I second it. All those in favor say aye. 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 It is.
I hear my response.
I would like. I'm sure you'll put it on Facebook. You want to hear it. You're going to have to take a picture.
I'll send it to you too.
Okay. Have a motion to table the levy jog trail discussion and possible action. Are there any has been submitted by either Councilman Pena or Councilman Mariah for this, Mr. Kelty? No, sir. All right.
The materials were provided in the last meeting, actually, and they're readily available. And this doesn't have to be politicized.
I'm not trying to politicize, sir. I'm just asking if you had done that.
Well,
I understand, I understand, just as of today, we got your disclosure, which is good, I appreciate you to that end. I understand that you canceled a meeting to walk through with Councilman Kane and Mr. Kelty at the last minute, and didn't show up until late to look at the O.E. Fleming building. We're just trying to figure this out, so.
Well, let me say,
what we're
respond
asking
to that,
for-
Mayor, that's not fair.
What we're asking
That's not
for,
fair.
what?
You're over here trying to
That's
get me
fair,
to ask
and-
of these side meetings for O.A. Fleming, and I told you I wasn't gonna do it, number one. Number two,
Gentlemen, let's keep on.
I just want to, Mr. Kane, let me just say this, Councilman, is that of everybody sitting up here tonight, out of all the councilmen, I have perfect attendance in attending these council meetings. And whether I come here praying outside in private to come in here afterwards is not a matter of the fact that I come prepared to speak and listen to the constituents and to the residents every time, sir. And so I find it just irresponsible, really, to, I know you're going to use that word too against me, but I'm just going to say that I'm attending all the city council meetings, and I'm attending all the special meetings in person. Nobody else can say that. So when I get these comments that, oh, he missed the preliminary trash meeting, or he missed this meeting over here at O.A. Fleming. Sir, I put in the hours. There is no doubt about that. I have a commitment to this city. I love this city just the same as you.
Very good.
Key word is hours. You ain't been here long enough to do anything else.
Hold on, hold on. I shouldn't, that's my fault and that's on me, so I apologize, Councilman Pena. There is a motion to table item number 12. The question was asked, was there any documentation provided? The answer was no. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed?
No.
No. Council 3-2. Wait till we get to another item, Sam.
We had Mr. Kane voting twice.
I'm sorry?
Yes, and Councilman Kane voting twice.
Lord knows we don't want to have
He voted yea.
voter fraud in Freeport, so.
Does the last vote count, or does the first vote count?
Everybody have, yes, sir. Sam?
I wanted to talk on city comment and I had taken these photos, and these photos were taken from the bottom of the ministry to the river, which is short distance. Look at that photo. I mean,
I'm sorry, Sam, if you did, I apologize, I missed you.
no problem. But these photos, that gravel is regularly washing up into the grass, and it look from the bottom of the ministry to the river place. I wonder what the rest of the levee looks like. This here is the waste of our taxpayers' money. We do not meet that levy, and there was allotted $300,000 for this project. I'm glad that didn't happen. But this here it is a waste of our somebody's pet project is what it was. And
Thank you, sir.
no, I'm not finished. You're going to let me talk on the citizens' comment.
Okay, you got 30 more seconds.
No. Councilman Mario Muralla violated Election Code Chapter 258, Fair Campaign Practices, Title 15, Section 258.002. The purpose of this chapter is to encourage every candidate and political committee to subscribe to the Code of Fair Campaign Practices. It is the intent of the legislature that every candidate and political committee that subscribes to the Code of Fair Campaign Practices will follow the basic principles of
Mr.
decency,
Raymond,
honesty.
let me kindly interrupt. Is this related to the levee jog trail, sir?
No, sir.
All right.
But I had put it on, I wanted to talk that, on the citizens' comment also.
I thought you did speak on the citizen comments.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you just came up and you brought the pictures. That's what you did.
Yeah. But,
right.
where I'm going with this is that it is the intent of the legislation that every candidate political committee that subscribes to the Code of Fair Campaign Practices will follow the basic principles of decency, honesty, and fair play to encourage healthy competition and open discussions of issues and candidate qualifications to practice the class issue. When a candidate submits the package Abuse Act and and every candidate should be reading that. His Councilman, I started campaigning last month. In that package, it said that you got a 90-day window for everybody that's running. You got a 90-day window. You start in February, and the election month is May. Mario Mudagia started campaigning last month, 11 months, not 3 months, 11 months prior to May.
Mr. Randall, your 4 minutes are up. If you have an issue with that, you can certainly sit it.
I will, but if I take it to the Secretary of State, they're gonna want me to exhaust all my revenues started on municipal level, so that's what I'm doing.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to the DA tomorrow. Thank you.
Mr. Clay.
One more.
No, one more. No, sir. Unless it's related to item number 13.
Give me 30 seconds.
No, sir. You already
Give me
had
30
4
seconds.
Julian.
Well, why you don't want to talk about the levy? It's easy.
We're not talking about
They already have a picture. He has a picture, you have a picture, you have a picture, and you have a picture. So
Julian,
you want.
your
And
time
you
is
can
up.
see how much
Let's
money
listen,
you throw away on the levy.
Thank you.
Check your one.
Julian, thank you. I appreciate your comments, but you must act within the rules. Please, sir, thank you. Item number 13. You know what, they're probably ordering extra pieces. Item number 13, residential water bill overbilling systems and resolutions discussed and possible action. Councilman Pena, Councilman Mariah, this is y'all's item.
I make a motion to table.
A second.
We have a motion and a second.
This is how it's gonna be played.
Well, thank you for, once again, your omniscient, because I was going to say, Mr. Cousins, would you please, before we take a vote on this action, give some discussion about the billing irregularities. So thank you for your consciousness there, Mr. Pena. Would you please discuss some of the billing irregularities?
Will I get a chance to speak?
Okay, so what happened was when we converted to Encode 10, there was an issue with the handhelds. Most of y'all may not know how we read meters. We load everything into the handhelds, they go out, they read meters with the little wands, they come back in and we download the information. And uploading the information to the handheld wasn't an issue. When we converted to Encode 10, there was an issue. We found the issue, but we could not make the changes in the handhelds until after the May readings. We read meters on May the 3rd. What we did not realize at the time was that some of the accounts came over as zero usage when we uploaded the handhelds. After the handhelds were read and stuff, we did do a complete update on all the handhelds and a factory restart on one of the handhelds because it was holding things.
You were reading on actually those as the minimum bill, right?
That's correct. 0,000 gallons, everyone was billed on bill. So what happened is we had a few customers, 130 exact, were billed for zero usage in May. We ran meters on June 2nd. Again, everything was brought over. We did see quite a few high readings. We sent quite a few rereads, almost 200 rereads out to Julia to reread. The reads came back in accordance to what was sent out. What we did not realize at that time is it was picking up basically a double bill because there was a zero read in May.
So it was collecting 2 months worth of data.
And the customers weren't billed for their true usage in May, but they were billed for their true usage in May and June together in June. We have worked through, we went through almost 1,500 accounts to verify all the information. We did go through and give everyone a 2,000 gallon credit on their bill because they were already billed for 2,000 gallons.
Not everyone, just those that had the zero.
Just those that had zero, sorry. Those that had the zero usage in May, because they had already been billed for the 2,000 gallons, so we adjusted 2,000 gallons off. We also did go through each account, and if anyone was a huge usage where we could see, or the customer had identified a huge usage, we worked through that to determine that there may have been a couple more adjustments that needed to be done.
What was the total amount of credits that were given?
$10,747.11.
Those credits will be reflected on the next bill?
They're reflected on the system. They're either be reflected on the next bill, or, as we stated, we're not charging penalties at this time, so we're dealing with that. Also, any customer, because of the fact that it was a double bill, if a customer is unable to pay that, we are making payment arrangements to allow them to pay it over an extended time based on the individual's needs. My staff has worked long and hard to work with every customer that has called, every customer that comes to the window. That's why you are probably seeing longer lines when people come in to pay their utility bills, because we are working with each individual customer when they come in to explain it to them, not just saying this is what you owe.
And in addition to that, those customers that just went ahead and paid their bill, we're actually crediting them as well.
They have a credit balance on their account. Do is normally we have those customers that is held out their account. I've not done that yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow because we want to make sure every had been adjusted and every account that had been looked at before we send those bills to take those automatic payments out. So we're going to do that tomorrow. We're tomorrow's Wednesday, on Thursday, because we wanted to ensure that we had everything done before we sent those.
In an effort to be transparent, we did send a notice out to residents, both online, on social media,
and in the paper,
and the newspaper, letting them know what the issue was and what was being done.
And the issue has been fixed in the handhelds. I have I'm going to tell you, I hired a new billing clerk. She did billing in Brazoria for 3 years. She is excellent. She is watching everything. We're looking at everything to prevent something like this from ever happening again. Can't say something like this won't ever happen again because, of course, it's technology and we're humans, but we're putting all the stopgaps in place to prevent it from happening again.
And so the issue is with the
handhelds.
And y'all calibrate them how often?
They should probably be calibrated on an annual basis, but they hadn't been updated in probably about 2 years. And we found that out. It wasn't such a big issue until we converted, and then the new systems didn't communicate so well together. And then that's when we had to do the update, and we did.
How many devices do we have?
3.
All right, seems to me we can do a spot check on them.
Yes, sir, we are. We're not only just us, the guys from Veolia, when they come in, they're pushing and making sure that all the information is there as well, because that's something that we're working with closely on with Veolia as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything further? No, is there a motion?
No, I was gonna say, I have a few phone calls that said that certain individuals couldn't pay through the phone. Is that any way connected to that or linked to it?
It shouldn't be known.
Okay.
If there is an issue with the phone payments, I ask if you get the phone calls to let me know so I can call and verify with our software company, because sometimes our software company will go down, and if they go down, they can't be on web and they can't pay via phone. So, or there could be an underlying issue in the background. But that was another thing, we've taken care of. If it happens, sooner or later, contact them. There's a customer that contacts me, or one of you council members, if y'all know, because I don't always hear those things or those things until we get back.
And police council is in our charter and our ordinance to make sure that you send this information to Mr. Kelty as well. Very good. Any further questions? Is there a motion? Moved again. Or remade, sorry.
Make a motion to table.
We have a motion to table agenda item 13. Is there a second? There's a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried, 3-2. Item number 14, sewage drain pumps, sewage drainage plan, pumps 5 and 6. Discussion and possible action, Councilman Pena, Councilman Meyer.
Mayor, I'd like to table item number 14, because we don't have any supporting documentation.
Second.
Is there any supporting documentation on item number 14?
It's on the wall, sir.
No, sir. So there,
It's in City Hall.
is there anything specific that Councilman Pena or Councilman Mariah wanted to discuss on the sewage drainage plan?
No, sir. Yes.
Provided. There are maps on the wall that we have put up there that shows the drainage and pipes and so forth that we'll be working on according to our GLO grant. Did you want to discuss the GLO grant, or was there something in addition to that, sir?
Just want to make excuse me?
Go ahead, sir.
Well, I want to point over here to this map.
Will you take the handheld microphone if you're going to talk to it, please, sir?
I'll try.
Thank
See
you.
if it works. Hello. So this map right here is a map of our sewer lines. And I was trying to get a meeting with Mr. Kelty and Mr. Petty to help to understand what is going on in Ward A and B, why we continue to have sewage backup on 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, especially from Velasco, I believe over here till Magnolia, and then from Magnolia to Ash. And there was a lot of things that were discovered on a rainy day on how the water flowed. But what I'm really concerned about is not only the drainage, but the sewer.
Are you through with the map, or are you still?
I'm still pointing at it here. Because over here, there's a lift station. And this lift station, I believe, is 5. And there's 6. 5 and 6 have pipes coming to them. And as I mentioned to Mr. Kelty, what's the strategy to get these fixed? And as my understanding, the strategy...
5 and 6 listed? Hold on 1 second.
Pardon me. The strategy is to troubleshoot them from the...
This question was, is that lift station number 5 and lift station number 6?
I believe so. It's my understanding that that's what they are, looking at another map. But this map, I placed this map here last week. I came in and posted it up here so that we could reference it because it was the biggest map available. And it was right there, that right there. On that side, you have the north side of the river. This is the south side of the river. And all I want to make council aware of is that when we're troubleshooting this, we don't troubleshoot fingers. This hub where all the main lines are coming in. And so you need to get a flow meter on each one, and you can see those back up. Versus troubleshooting every finger out here that's leading into pump 5 or 6. Is that you can see it right here, the source, where they all converge and flow into the main line. And then you can start troubleshooting, like say, for example, A, B, C is backed up, but then you have the trouble with C. And maybe that's the reason why 9, 10, 11, and 12 are backed up. Just a simple process of elimination.
And we have talked about that, and I think you were actually on council when we approved the GLO request. And this is something that's been considered, and there are maintenance issues that are still working on, but we can't do any major capital improvement. We have to work under the confines of the GLO, but that will be done. Everything that you've pointed out on the map.
Well, my only concern is this, is that there's money allotted for this. But when I hear what the strategy is, I'm concerned.
Well, but the strategy was set forth by the General Land Office in regards to the grant that we got to get the $12 million shut. And so we have to follow those rules. I mean, it may not be what happens in the private world. Believe me, what happens in the private world probably goes a heck of a lot faster. But we have to follow the rules. Just trying to help taking the money. I know you're trying to help, but we have to follow the rules.
We can't provide any feedback to Veolia to tell them, hey guys, you might want to start it this way.
This is not necessarily Veolia at this particular point in time. This is a package that Freeze and Nichols is working on that will be going out for bids for multiple companies and so forth. But it is a process, and we have to follow the process. If we don't follow the process correctly, they can take the money away from us. So,
Again, I just bring it up because I have all these residents blasting me, text message, emails, Facebook, and I'm just responding.
Sure.
When I say I'm gonna bring it to council's attention so we can speak on it, and that, maybe we might be able to come up with some solutions, now you know that, it's been brought to the council's attention, and hopefully we get it resolved, especially on the heels of it being hurricane season now. Thank you, sir.
and I'm sure that you'll get reports,